Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another edition of the Unfiltered Tea. Welcome everybody. Um what what you having on this fine evening as we're getting started, cuz of course it was a week. Of course it was a week. Um yeah, this administration decided to pick a fight with Boston and with Maine. Same week. Those are two groups you do not pick a fight with. We will win. We will win. That's just, we are some of the most stubborn humans on the face of the planet. So we are going to take a look at that. I myself, not sponsored, but I thought tonight was a great night for a nice lawyer up. Come on, find it. I'll hide. Go ahead. Come on, camera. Camera. Anyway, there we go. A nice lawyer up coffee porter. And because I'm feeling love for my state right about now, I've put it in my Stay Salty glass that I have. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Janet Mills, who is clearly out of fucks to give. Um, Sorry, probably should have warned you about that. I swear, if you're new, hi, welcome. Good to have you here. I swear a lot, especially lately, because QREM, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Partly because I swear a lot. Um, so we are going to dive into that this evening. I have Janet Mills' statement pulled up as well. And we're going to look at Governor Pritzker's statements. I have some timestamps there. There were some key things in his State of the State address that good to have. So, welcome aboard. I'm going to go ahead and roll the intro, and maybe by the time I roll the intro, I'll figure out where we're starting. If you want to hear Pritzker first, let me know in chat. If you want to hear Janet Mills first, let me know in chat, and we'll get rolling. I just need to find my intro. Where did I hide it on myself? Here we go. Hi. Hello and welcome to the Unfiltered Tea, a show where we say all the things you wish the newscasters said, unscripted and unfiltered. We talk about politics, pop culture, and courts, so pull up your soapbox, pour yourself a cuppa, and let's go. Let's go. You know what? Let's kick this off. All right. We have a vote. Dad says let's start with Pritzker, which works for me. We can end with Janet Mills because as much as I do not, I've got my issues with Janet Mills, but right now she is in the camp of yes, please, thank you for standing up to this man. So let's go to the Governor Pritzker comments. We're not going to watch the whole State of the State, one, because we're not Illinois, and two, because there were just a few things that I did really want to cover. So now we get to do the fun thing. Hang on, I'm getting there. Every time. All right, here we go. Let me check my timestamps here. No, we're just gonna go back to the start of, yeah, I had a couple of other things I thought of doing, but I think we're gonna start here. I think this is gonna be much better. It is, Heather Cox Richardson quoted this in her February 21st letters, and it's good to hear. We are going to hope, I did check my volume earlier, we're going to hope that it is accurate, because streaming is dynamic. So let us, oh wait, no, hang on. If I could ever get StreamYard to just do this, there. When I start, it would be easier, but here we go. Governor Pritzker, give us a history lesson, please.
Small but important forerunner to the one I helped to build 30 years later here. I do not invoke the specter of Nazis lightly, but I know the history intimately and have spent more time than probably anyone in this room with people who survived the Holocaust. Here's what I've learned. The root that tears apart your house's foundation begins as a seed of distrust and hate and blame. The seed that grew into a dictatorship in Europe a lifetime ago didn't arrive overnight.
Nope.
It started with everyday Germans mad about inflation and looking for someone to blame. I'm watching with a foreboding dread what is happening in our country right now. A president who watches a plane go down in the Potomac and suggests without facts or findings that a diversity hire is responsible for the crash. Or the Missouri Attorney General who just sued Starbucks, arguing that consumers pay higher prices for their coffee because the baristas are too female and non-white.
There are so many times that I hear statements like that, and I know it's true, but that sentence cannot even go into my brain.
The authoritarian playbook is laid bare here. They point to a group of people who don't look like you and tell you to blame them for your problems.
Yep.
I just have one question. What comes next? After we've discriminated against, deported, or disparaged all the immigrants and the gay and lesbian and transgender people, the developmentally disabled, the women, and the minorities, once we've ostracized our neighbors and betrayed our friends, after that, when the problems we started with are still there staring us in the face, what comes next? All the atrocities of human history lurk in the answer to that question. And if we don't want to repeat history, then for God's sake, in this moment, we better be strong enough to learn from it.
Yes. I agree with the applause. Maybe not the little golf clap down there.
I swore the following oath on Abraham Lincoln's Bible. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of governor according to the best of my ability. My oath is to the Constitution of our state and of our country. We don't have kings in America, and I don't intend to bend the knee to one.
Yeah, we kind of fought a whole war over the whole things thing and decided we didn't want them.
I'm not speaking up in service to my ambitions, but in deference to my obligations. If you think I'm overreacting and sounding the alarm too soon, consider this. It took the Nazis 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 days, 8 hours, and 40 minutes to dismantle a constitutional republic.
Mm-hmm.
And all I'm saying is that when the 5-alarm fire starts to burn, every good person better be ready to man a post with a bucket of water if you want to stop it from raging out of control. Those Illinois Nazis did end up holding their march in 1978, just not in Skokie. After all the blowback from the case, they decided to march in Chicago instead. Only 20 of them showed up, but 2,000 people came to counter-protest. The Chicago Tribune reported that day that the rally sputtered to an unspectacular end after 10 minutes. It was Illinoisans who smothered those embers before they could burn into a flame. Tyranny requires your fear and your silence and your compliance.
Yes.
Democracy requires your courage.
Mm-hmm.
So gather your justice and humanity, Illinois, and do not let the tragic spirit of despair overcome us when our country needs us the most. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All of that. No, embiggen me. And as Mom says, and who is left? When you run through all of the lists of those people that it gets down to this administration wanting nothing but cisgendered straight white men running things. You know who historically doesn't do the best job at running things. Cisgendered straight white men that think everybody's coming to get them. It's just it's an overgeneralization that is kind of borne out by a lot of history. Education, openness, conversation, that kind of thing. And I love this. I love what Pritzker said as well, Governor Pritzker said as well, because I am a First Amendment absolutionist in way too many ways. I am very much the way to combat hate speech is with more speech. And he lays it out perfectly in a lot of ways of if you've got 20 people wanting to show up to a rally to preach their hate and you can get 2,000 to counter that, the 2,000 speak louder and we do better. And yeah, you know what? It's nicer over on this side when you're judging people on the content of their character as opposed to anything else. And yes, I realize that I just referenced Dr. King. And yeah, starting with the trans folks and people of color and all of that, it's happening. It is happening. We're in a coup. We're in the middle of it. Whoever said to me, may you live in interesting times, Grammy, love you, but that is a curse that you should not put on anybody. Yeah, Leah, able-bodied, cisgender, straight white men are who's left at the end of this. When they come after everybody, this is who's left. This is a remarkably bad group to do things like reproduce, raise families, because they can't reproduce on their own. I mean, women can't either, but I don't know. I feel like if you left nature alone for long enough, given what nature with animals and bugs and things like that has shown us, give mama nature just a little bit and we might see women be able to do everything all on their own. We can't do that yet, not humans. I'm just saying. I wouldn't put it past Mother Nature to be like, you know what, we need to just solve this whole problem. So there's that. So that was, if you can't tell, I'm finding some good stuff tonight. So now, okay. I want to go to Janet Mills. I am on the fence. So chat, let me know. Do we want to hear, what's his name? Tom, I keep forgetting his name. Tom Holman. The reason is his name doesn't seem like a real name. Okay, I'm going to, hang on. We're going to have a minute. We're going to take a trip to the SNARK. I went on this diatribe a little earlier, and now I'm going to take you all with me. So, is it just me? These names of a lot of these guys, I'm struggling with the fact that I'm about to be mean, but I'm going to be a little mean. They don't seem like names. Like, no, they seem like names that aliens picked out of a playbook. It's like Doctor Who characters, right? So you're going to have aliens. They have to pretend to be human. So they need like human sounding names. So we get Tom Holman and Josh Hawley and Tommy Tuberville. And like, what is with the conservative and Trump? And what is with the conservatives in their names? Because, I mean, the same could be said all the way around. I understand that. Just allow me a little bit of levity here of, I can't keep Tom Holman's name in my head because it just sounds like he made it up to me. And because in my head always turns it into Tom Human, which is not how you say his name. It feels like he's trying very hard to be, like with most of them, it seems like they're trying really hard to be real boys. So, oh, what the heck? Let's play the clip. Let's play the clip of Tom Holman and his remarks at CPAC, because I don't recommend ever coming for Boston in this particular way, especially not the Boston chief of police, especially not when any of you following the Karen Reid trial know that Boston's got its own problems and we're coming at this sideways. So let's pull that up. We'll go through it. We're going to see if I have my time. Oh, stop that. You'd think I have too many screens up. That's part of my problem. Nope, not that. There we go. There we go. I will make me... No, I'm not making myself super small. And we're going to do this. All right, Tom. What words you got for Boston?
I read a story last night, the police commissioner of Boston. You said you doubled down on not helping the law enforcement officers of ICE. I'm coming to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me.
Sir, it's clear from that statement that you've never been to Boston, because, well, those of us who live up north and have been to Boston, hell, designed the Boston street system and driving, just in general. So we've already got that. Also, have you watched a hockey game? Because we got the Bruins and the Fleet. Sir, you picked a fight with the wrong town? And they're gonna win. Don't know if you know that, but they're gonna win. Let's get no. Yeah, we don't need your face on the screen anymore. That's all you said? That's a and the internet though. The internet did what the internet does best. And the internet was like, "Sir, you want to do that?" And I'm very proud of the Boston response. It's been lovely. That's not to say that there aren't a lot of Trumpers up in this area. There are. There's a lot of very conservative folks all over the place. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a choice. You ain't gonna win. All right, I'm gonna swoop, and then we're gonna go to... Oh, no, wait. We have a news update on German elections. So first I'm gonna swoop, then we're gonna do the update on German elections, and then we are gonna end this lovely short Sunday by going to see what Janet Mills had to say when Trump decided to, pitch a fit. And then we'll see where we go. Maybe we'll chat some more. You let me know. All right. Let's check. Let me refresh over here and let's see. Okay. Let's see where we're at. I'm going to pull this up so you can see what I am looking at, because the internet is a glorious and wonderful place. And I Googled it because, well, I wanted to Google it. I wanted to see where we were at because it's going to affect all of us. So, near as I can tell from... Now, I don't know folks in Germany, and I'm only a little bit aware of it because, news cycle over here is bad enough for us, terrible for international stuff. But as I understand it, the CDU/CSU is not as fascist as the AFDs, but they are conservative. And it looks like the conservatives have won. It's still being counted, and I would need a much smarter person than me to walk me through how German parliament works to see how this is all going to play out. I am slightly nervous. I am feeling a little bit better that it wasn't AFD, but I'm nervous. So, wanted to fill you in because their day is done. So that's where we are at there. Oh, no, I should have just left myself down here. Hang on. You'd think I never did this before. All right. No, that's not what I had meant to do. I meant to do this. All right. Not her statement. Next up, heated exchange between Trump and Mills. We're leaving. I didn't bother with his whole speech because none of us need that in our Sunday evening. Oh, I should swoop. All right. I should make myself smaller though. Are you ready? Are you ready to see my governor stand up to this brute here? Let's go.
But they have to come in legally. 2 weeks ago, I signed an executive order banning men from playing in women's sports.
Okay, I'm gonna pause before we continue on with this because I need a soapbox bumper. This is such a misnomer, men playing in women's sports. Do we need more studies on hormone replacement therapy, various hormone things for our trans youth and trans people in general, as far as the men's and women's sports thing? Probably. But here's also my thing. Here's why this makes me mad on two levels. Now, this is just my opinion. Take it as you will. If you have a disagreement, let's talk. Because I know plenty of people that I love that fundamentally agree with me on this, but we disagree on my thoughts here. Yes, there are physiological differences between men and women. We get that. The implication that men automatically do better in sports, I have an issue with, and that's because I also watch women's sports. And there are times when I'll tell you right now, the women play better and often smarter than a lot of the men. And so the notion that women are just automatically less than in sports, I think the question is actually, how do we judge these sports? What are the criteria? What do the male body and female body have for differences that would give them an advantage or a disadvantage? What's the example of Michael Phelps with the lungs that not everybody has that allowed him to do better in swimming? It didn't have anything to do with the fact that he was a dude. It didn't have anything. It was just a thing that made his body better at that particular sport. So I take issue with the fact that we just assume that women's sports goes under male sports. There should be protections, but this whole men in sports thing is wrong. It's just wrong. From everything that I have encountered on any of the science of it. It's an inaccurate statement. So there's that. I have other thoughts, but I will let the man continue. No, hit the right button. There we go. Hit the right button. There we go.
Many Democrats are fighting me on that. I hope you continue because you'll never win another race. And it's just crazy. If you look at what happened with the boxing, if you look at what happened with the weightlifting numbers, where a record that hadn't been broken for 19 years got shattered. But, they put up an eighth of an ounce here, an eighth of an ounce there, and it's 218 pounds or whatever with that. And hadn't been broken in 19 years. And then guy walks up who transitioned. He transitioned and he knocked out that record by about 100 pounds. That will be a record not going to be broken again.
I'm pretty sure
so we put a ban on
false.
it. And to protect women. I mean, the women, if you watch the Olympics.
I hate that. To protect women. as though we can't protect ourselves. Do you understand how we got the right to vote, sir? It wasn't by being wilting little flowers. No.
Two transitioned people that were fighting in the women's boxing. They have women's boxing category. And if you saw that, it was brutal. What happened to the Italian woman was a really good boxer. After one punch, she said, no more, no more. I've never been hit. It was a left. It was not even it was just a left jab. She got hit so hard, she said, I can't do it. They forced her to go out. No, go out again. You'll do it. Goes out again, gets hit again. No, that's it. She didn't want to die. And it's crazy, but the NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
Well, we are the federal law.
No, you are not the king. You are not. No.
Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics. Every state has a responsibility to comply with Title IX. They have an obligation, a legal obligation, and we'll be enforcing aggressively. And we're going to be protecting our citizens. We're going to protect.
That was an interesting threat to come from a governor at her second term after she spent her entire career as a DA and an AG. And you've lost pretty much every court case you've ever had, Mr. President. So her saying, I'll see you in court, that's a threat. So let us, now I'm going to pull up her statement. And we're going to go over her statement because I love this. I think this is an excellent thing. This is a statement from Governor Mills. I have spent my career as a district attorney, as attorney general, and now as governor, standing up for the rule of law in Maine and America. To me, that is fundamentally what is at stake here, the rule of law in our country. No president, Republican or Democrat, can withhold federal funding authorized and appropriated by Congress and paid for by Maine taxpayers in an attempt to coerce someone into compliance with his will. It is a violation of our Constitution and of our laws, which I took an oath to uphold. Maine may be one of the first states to undergo an investigation by his administration, but we won't be the last. Today, the President of the United States has targeted one particular group on one particular issue, which Maine law has addressed. But you must ask yourself, who and what will he target next? And what will he do? Will it be you? Will it be because of your race or your religion? Will it be because you look different or think differently? Where does it end? In America, the president is neither a king nor a dictator, as much as this one tries to act like it, and it is the rule of law that prevents him from being so. I imagine that the outcome of this politically directed investigation is all but predetermined. My administration will begin work with the Attorney General to defend the interests of Maine people in the court of law, but do not be misled. This is not just about who can compete on the athletic field. This is about whether a president can force compliance with his will without regard for the rule of law that governs our nation. I believe he cannot. Applause all around. I'm also going to say when it comes to trans folks, I know a lot of them. They don't, this mythical boogeyman of somebody who goes through all sorts of therapy and goes through all the medical stuff, which is not an easy thing to do to your body, by the way. And they do all of that just so that they can walk into a ladies' bathroom or compete in women's sports. Are you kidding me? It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Yeah, Dad says that someone who has issues with Governor Mills from a progressive perspective, she has always been a champion of the law and adherence to it. Sometimes to the point where we all get annoyed. And if anybody is going to take the president to task in the court, I think Mills has a pretty good option there. I think she's going to be able to do it. Just, yeah, I'll see you in court. Cool. He has I'm sure that'll be an easy one. Sir, every time you walk into court, you think it's going to be easy, and almost every time you walk out losing. So maybe check your scorecard. I don't know. Pick up a law book. It might help. They don't have, nope, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say they don't have illustrated copies. I decided to say it anyway. I thought that was maybe a little too rude. No, we're fighting fascism. So if it means that I have to be a little rude, I'm going to go there because I got to tell you, there are some people that I absolutely love, or at least got along with quite well, who have been real loud about being big mad at Janet Mills for this because they're anti-trans, which is a statement that doesn't make sense to me. Because I'm happy in my body. I mean, I'm about as cisgendered, straight, white female as you get. So I'm happy with my lot in life. But it means that I can't understand the people that are close to me. As far as I don't have a shared lived experience with them. But you know what I do know? I have not met a one of them that was like, that has done any of this to be a predator. And the people who say that are the same people who platform folks like the Duggars. Matt Gaetz. There's a lot of allegations that go, I mean, the person that Trump borrows the plane from their estate when his breaks down. I feel like maybe these aren't the best folks to determine who's a predator and who isn't. Or maybe they are because they are all predator. I mean, not everybody, but anyway. It's just not a thing. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it because it does real damage to people. And here's the thing. From where I sit, it's not even about the politics of it all, right? I am more love is going to get you farther than any of the rest of this. And I don't understand why so many of this administration is so angry at people who have empathy. It doesn't make sense to me. Empathy is not a moral failing. That at a given point with when they go low, we go high impulse can keep us from being as blunt and direct as perhaps we need to be as progressives. And honestly, I set out to do this, and my mission was not to name call and things like that because I don't like encouraging that. On the other hand, as I say in this house a lot, as my folks have heard me say numerous times, at a certain point when the administration, the fascist regime, because it's a regime at this point, they keep coming at you and they keep attacking, and we're just trying to duck and dodge out of the way of all the blows. At a certain point, this is going to get violent and this is going to get graphic, and I do not recommend actually doing this. I'm just saying, proverbially speaking, at a certain point, you gotta punch the attacker in the dick. Not hard, just enough to drop them for long enough that you can either get safely away or that they will listen to you. And we've reached that point. Defensive tactics have only worked so far. At this point, you need a little bit more defense, more proactive defense, as opposed to just ducking the blows. I'm not advocating anybody do anything like that. I am pro using words and empathy and asking questions. I will always think that we get farther by asking questions, especially of the folks that we disagree with. But I'm out of patience. And I am here for I'll see you in court. I don't know what else we do. What I do know is that we pull together with each other. Dad is reminding me, yes, economic blackout, the first one, Friday, February 28th. This is a good time to remind you, if you are with us, this is where all of us individual little snowflakes get to come together and we get to be a blizzard. And how are we going to be a blizzard? We are not going to purchase anything. We're not going to put any money into the, Dad can probably help me with better wording on this, but we are going to stay home from the stores that day. Get all your grocery shopping done ahead of time. If you do go out and you do go to stores, local only, cash only. So go to your local bank, get out $20, get out $50, have it at the ready, tip well when you go out to restaurants and make sure it's local restaurants, tip well, and tip in cash, just as a general rule. So that is one thing that we can do, prep to do it. As usual, we are going to gather here. We're going to keep going through all of this. Here's what I'm going to need the government to do, though, is I'm going to need the government to just take a breath because, oh, I should swoop. Hang on. Swoop. This is why I'm late. I'm late with the timestamps, but, yes, I'm late with the timestamps. But I do try to get everything time stamped. And if you are, Leah, you're going to have to drop the town in chat. But if you want to go see a high school play and just take yourself out on the town out in Oregon, cash only play Friday night. Go check it out. My amazing cousin does the work of a saint. She is a high school teacher, so check her stuff out. There we go, Sweet Home. That's where you're going if you are out there. Go watch the kids make some art. And it's Shakespeare. And it's comedy. Come on. You know you want to do that. Because it's kind of nice to unplug a little bit. And let me tell you, there is no better group on the planet to do Shakespeare than high schoolers. No one's better at it. I used to do it. No one's better at it than the high schoolers. So go check them out. Oh yeah, Dad says get out a few hundred and spend it at local businesses. This is the time for you to go to all your favorite local shops, find new local shops, spend money in cash, chat with them. And it's a good opportunity to reset your routine too, because if you are like me, sometimes you can get in habits, right? And you can go to this place because it's easier, that place because it's easier. And this is a good way to sort of reroute that for yourself. Because if you're anything like me, you do it once, twice, you're like, well, that was so much better when I went to this coffee shop or that coffee shop, and they know me now and things like that. So go ahead and do that. Grab your buckets of water. We got to keep checking in with each other. I am going to say, coming up this week, though, we're going to take a minute and go from politics. We're just going to, unless something pops off that's completely insane, we are going to take this week to revisit the Karen Reed trial, because that covers a little bit of politics, not a lot, and it is definitely the court system in action. And if you are up here in Maine, in Massachusetts, guess what we're all following? So that's what we're looking at this week. There is another hearing on Tuesday, so we are going to be taking a look at that. I might do the makeup stream tomorrow. If you want me to do a makeup stream tomorrow evening, because I know I owe you all a makeup stream. If you want me to do that tomorrow evening and we can go over the Brennan misspeak of last week so that we can get caught up, let me know. And yes, Mom says go see local musicians. So our mission for Friday the 28th is we're all going to take ourselves out to all of the favorite local places. And I challenge all of us to go find somewhere new. And we are going to drop cash right into the local economy. And we are going to leave every single one of the major corporations that thinks that they can run the government and walk all over us out of it. Also, if you have done the update on your Apple iPhone and iDevices and they are connected to cellular, go into your settings and check and see if Starlink is auto turned on. If it is, I leave it up to you. I will be turning mine off because I don't trust King Musk at all. So with that, thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for being here this evening. It's nice to know that my governor is going to take this president to task, because we don't do kings in America. Now, I will say in Maine we have two. We have Stephen and we have Angus. They're the only kings that we need. We don't need any more. And they are lovely humans. And I think that's where, sorry, my brain buffered and I still don't have the squirrel thing built. Anyway, that's where we're at. You guys have been great. I didn't say, oh, do the YouTube things. If you're here, you like this, all of that, tell the algorithm so that it'll let you know when I'm back. And I will be back definitely on Tuesday. Drop a comment or let me know, or find me on the socials here. Let me know if you want the Monday stream to be catch up on Karen Reed, or if we just want to do it all on Tuesday and get it all done in one. If we do it all on Tuesday, I'm just going to warn you, buckle up, Buttercup. It'll be a long one. I'm good with it if you're good with it. And with that, thank you, everybody. Be well, do good, and remember, bark a lot. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for joining us for another episode of The Unfiltered Tea. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you have a story you want our unfiltered take on, go ahead and drop it in the comments, and we will see you next time.